Today I am going to explain a movie that will make your body hair stand on end. Your heart will literally start trembling. You will shudder and keep wondering what will happen now. What is going to happen now? The name of the movie is Trash Asterisk. Even though the story of the movie is about a natural disaster, every scene will push you to the absolute limit of panic. If you start watching this movie, you will get so engrossed in it that you will feel as if all this is happening to you. The movie starts by showing a coastal area in America. We hear the voice of the news media. It is announcing that a massive storm has started in the sea, which is the biggest storm ever. And this storm is rapidly rushing towards Annville, the city closest to the sea. It is assumed that this storm will submerge the entire city of Annville. So everyone is instructed to leave the city quickly. While these announcements are ongoing, a rainstorm starts as an early sign of the hurricane. After this, a girl is shown. Her name is Dakota. Dakota suffers from a disease called agoraphobia. Simply put, agoraphobia is a type of fear disorder. People suffering from this disease get extremely terrified when they see any danger. And a person only develops such a disease when they have been trapped in a major life-threatening situation, where due to a lack of help they were almost on the verge of death. Now, neither of Dakota's parents are alive. Dakota has an uncle named Dale. And that Dale takes care of Dakota. Yes, this is that Dale. You see him in a boat in the middle of the sea even at this time because he is a shark researcher by profession. Meaning, at a time when everyone is fleeing from the sea, he is going in the opposite direction, deeper into the sea, because at this time sharks will be more visible. So upon hearing the news of the approaching storm, Dale calls his niece Dakota and tells her to get out of the city. But then again, Dakota has agoraphobia. So even though she gathers a lot of courage and goes outside, seeing the amount of rain outside and the empty city, Dakota gets scared, returns home, and decides to stay inside the house alone. The scene shifts to the bank of a small pond in the city, where we see a girl and two boys very happily bathing in the pond in the middle of the rain. These three are actually siblings. The girl's name is Dina. The boy who jumped into the pond is named Ron, and the little boy's name is Will. So they are bathing happily when their stepfather Olson sees this, scolds them a lot, puts them in the car, and takes them home. Then the scene shifts to a pregnant girl in the city named Lisa. She is a nurse by profession. She does not know the news that such a big storm is about to hit the city that could submerge it, so even in that rain, she is going towards the hospital because she has duty. So while driving, Lisa exchanges hellos with an oil supply tank driver on the road. This boy's name is Bob. Bob is actually Lisa's neighbor. So Lisa is driving towards the hospital. At that moment, Lisa's mother video calls Lisa and says, "Why haven't you left the city yet? Don't you know a storm is about to hit your city of Annville?" Lisa says, "Oh, such storms happen occasionally." Lisa's mother says this is not like all other storms. This is serious. Hearing her mother's words, Lisa looks around and notices that yes, people are closing all their shops as they please and fleeing the city. But Lisa doesn't take the matter that seriously and keeps driving. The scene comes back to Olson and his adopted children. As Olson brings his children home, we see Olson's girlfriend Rachel in the house. Here, seeing the conversation and behavior of Olson, his girlfriend, and the kids, we can understand that the decision to adopt these children was Olson's. Rachel had no say in it, so Rachel cannot stand the sight of these children. And on the other hand, Olson is again a slave to his girlfriend. So when Rachel gets angry at the children, Olson takes his girlfriend's side and behaves badly with the children. Seeing which, the children in turn cannot stand the sight of either Olson or Rachel. Meanwhile, if the scene goes back to Dale, we see a journalist interviewing Dale. He wants to know from Dale, due to the storm in the sea, many sharks came ashore with the current and attacked a couple on the beach. What is your comment on this? Dale says, "I have only just heard about this incident." Over there, while Lisa is on her way to the hospital, the condition of the storm is such that, out of the urge to save her life, she stops in front of a super shop and is screaming to take shelter inside, but no one opens the door from the inside. When Lisa takes shelter in her own car, she feels her stomach ache starting. Lisa then plays a song on her mobile to keep herself mentally calm. And meanwhile, the storm's rampage starts in the city. Being stuck in various places, Lisa is returning home. On the way, she sees the road is blocked. Seeing Lisa, Bob says, "You cannot go that way. A fallen tree has blocked the road, so quickly turn the car around and come with me." Over there, we see a massive current of seawater entering the city terrifyingly, and the city is getting submerged underwater. After this, you will definitely be shocked to see what happens. So when the electricity in Dakota's house goes out, Dakota starts getting scared. At such a time, hearing a noise outside, she runs to the window and sees. Then the scene shifts to those three siblings. They were watching the news on TV. Suddenly hearing a noise outside, they stand up, look outside, and see what the condition is. Seeing this, they are terrified. In a hurry, they keep calling their father Olson, but before Olson can understand anything, he is gone. Over there, Lisa is shown. Her car has fallen victim to the flood. She has lost control of the car. When she keeps screaming, "Police, help!" Dakota hears it and looks out the window. Meanwhile, if the scene comes to Olsen, we see Olsen's house getting submerged in the flood. Seeing this, Olsen decides to flee from here quickly with his girlfriend. So he tells the kids, "You stay here, I am coming." Saying this, Olsen and Rachel go towards their garage. Over there, two boys are seen near Lisa. The bearded boy's name is Scott and this bald man's name is Jimmy. So Scott heard Lisa's screaming, he jumps completely off the boat and keeps going towards Lisa while Jimmy stays sitting in the boat. So seeing the boy coming towards her, Lisa is stuck like this with a tree branch. Seeing this, Scott says, "Do not be afraid, I am rescuing you." Saying this, Scott climbs on top of the car and tries to pull the branch out with his hands but fails. Then Scott shouts from a distance and tells Jimmy, "Jimmy, bring the big cutter. It's kept in the back of the truck." Jimmy then gets down from the boat to get the cutter, climbs into the truck and searches for it. Meanwhile, Lisa's getting restless out of fear. Seeing this, Scott tells Jimmy, "Brother, bring it quickly." Then reassuring Lisa, he says, "Do not be afraid at all. I promise I will rescue you." Over there, Jimmy suddenly somehow sinks. Scott is literally shocked to see this. He keeps shouting, "Jimmy, Jimmy," repeatedly, but there is no response from Jimmy. Scott then tells Lisa, "You stay here, I am coming." Saying this as Scott goes forward in search of Jimmy, at one point Jimmy comes out of the water. But what is this? Something has eaten one of his arms. Seeing Jimmy screaming as Scott hurriedly starts going towards Jimmy, we see a shark in the water a little far away. Meaning this very shark has eaten Jimmy's arm. Over there from the upper floor, seeing the shark, Dakota keeps screaming, saying, "Shark, shark." Hearing this, Lisa also starts screaming, telling everyone to get out of the water. The truck driver then, just as he is about to get down from the truck to help Scott and Jimmy, right then the shark eats the driver. In front of Lisa's eyes, the shark eats Scott so brutally that Lisa's soul dries up seeing it. Coming to those three kids, we see Olsen and his girlfriend Rachel going towards the garage. And these three are just staring through the window of the house. The scene comes back to Lisa. There is no one else to rescue Lisa. Seeing this, Lisa starts trying to move the branch all by herself, but nothing is happening. Lisa then starts crying and keeps shouting, "Help, help." From the upper floor, Dakota sees this and calls her uncle for help, but cannot reach him on the phone. Then Dakota comes to the window and shouts to Lisa, "Have a little patience, I am calling people for help." Lisa says there is no such time on hand. "The water is rising and it is becoming difficult for me to breathe. Please, you come and help." Dakota says there are many sharks in this water. "You saw it yourself, they ate 3 people in front of your eyes." At such a time, a house floating with the flood comes here and turns in such a way that it creates a bridge-like environment from Dakota's house to Lisa's car. But it is not completely safe, because there is a lot of empty space on both sides, which has to be crossed by getting down into the water. Meanwhile, Dakota again has agoraphobia, so she is not getting the courage to take this risk at all. Over there, Lisa keeps crying piteously for help. After trying desperately to gather courage, Dakota finally gives up. She moves away from the window, comes inside, and starts crying loudly. Meanwhile, there was now only one person to help Lisa. She is also backing down. Seeing this, Lisa keeps calling Dakota repeatedly in a piteous voice. Dakota then cannot hold herself back anymore. She finally gathers the courage. She comes to the window and says, "Wait, I am coming." Saying this, Dakota will go to the dining area on the ground floor to get a knife. But downstairs, being submerged in water, this is the condition. Who knows how many sharks are in this water? Then Dakota, compelled, gets down into the water. Going a little distance, floating on the sofa like this, she reaches the top of the dining table. After that, taking a knife from there, she comes to the window. She has planned to jump straight from the window onto that floating house. But she is just not able to gather this courage. After fighting with her own mind for a long time, finally, just as she is about to jump, her foot slips due to being nervous and she falls. So for Dakota to reach Lisa over that floating house, there are some places where there is a chance of falling into the water. Thinking of this, Dakota's heart is drying up out of fear. At such a time, she again sees a shark in the water. Then, taking a life risk, she keeps moving forward. So finally, Dakota reaches the top of Lisa's car. After that, taking the knife she brought along, she cuts the ladder, acting as a roof on top of Lisa's car. After that, she starts cutting the tree branches that have entered inside the car. So Dakota finally gets Lisa out of the car and brings Lisa to her house. Taking off the coat on her body, Lisa takes a sigh of relief and thanks Dakota. Over there, Dakota is still shivering with fear. The scene comes to those 3 kids. They suspect that maybe a shark has already entered inside their house. Even if it hasn't entered yet, the way the door of the house is open, it will enter anytime. Ron tells his sister Rena, "Go quickly and close the door, then I will think about what to do." Rena then starts going to close the door, but exactly at that time, a shark enters their house. Rena was just about to fall into the shark's mouth when right then her brother saves her. As Rena trembles in fear, Ron hugs her and keeps consoling her. Over there, if the scene comes to Lisa, we see Lisa's stomach ache has started. And this is not a normal stomach ache. This is the pain that starts right before having a baby. When Lisa informs Dakota about this, Dakota is literally shocked. She cannot understand what she should do now. Seeing this, Lisa says, "Listen to me carefully. We now need to know how close the time of baby delivery is." Dakota asks in surprise, "How will I know that?" Lisa then sits on the bed with her legs apart. She says, "You come and see how dilated the opening for the baby to come out is now, and how many inches away the baby is now." How will Dakota look at this? Lisa says, "I am feeling more ashamed than you are, but there is no way, we have to do this." "Yes," Lisa says, "leave the shame." Dakota lowers her head and starts looking, but she just cannot figure out how to describe what she is seeing. Lisa says, "See how many inches away the baby is." Having no other choice, Dakota says, "It looks like it's 2 to 3 inches away." Hearing this, Lisa says, "That means the baby is going to be delivered very soon." Dakota says, "Then now." If the scene comes to Dakota's Uncle Dale, we see he is making various attempts to contact Dakota to find out about her but cannot reach her, because all networks in the city are down. Seeing this, he decides to go towards Dakota's house. But Annabelle City is another 100 miles away from where Dale is now. Now the question is, by the time Dale reaches Dakota, will Dakota even be alive, or will the sharks have eaten them by then? Over there, the scene comes to those three siblings. 2 sharks have entered inside their house. There are 2 ways. One is to somehow get out of this house, which is not possible, because even though Ron knows how to swim, the other 2 do not, so if they get into the water, they will die. And the second way is their father has some rifles and explosives on the ground floor. Along with that, there is some meat in the fridge on the ground floor, and they will be able to make bait with those meats and kill the sharks with the help of explosives. But the ground floor is now completely submerged underwater, so Ron has to get down into the water, dive down, and come back with everything while he still has breath. The big risk in this again is that sharks can also attack Ron at this time, but there is no other way either. If the scene comes to Lisa, we see Lisa's stomach ache has increased tremendously. She is thrashing about like crazy in that pain. Now Lisa has to be rescued from here very quickly and taken to the hospital. Otherwise, both mother and baby might die. Meanwhile, in this situation, Dakota is not able to help Lisa at all. Seeing this, Dakota just keeps crying silently. Crying continuously, at one point, unable to control herself anymore, Dakota comes to the window, looks outside, and sees a boat floating in the water in the distance. But Dakota doesn't have the courage to get down into the water, swim, and bring it back. So Dakota, writhing in restlessness for a while, thinks of something and starts going towards the lower floor. Lisa shouts and says, "What are you doing?" Dakota says, "I have to bring the boat that is outside, but there are many sharks all around outside. My uncle had said if any device that vibrates is kept in the water, the sharks nearby rush there upon sensing that vibration. This makes the presence of sharks known, so I am looking for some things that run on battery and vibrate." While saying all this, Dakota finds some such devices and puts them in polythene bags. After that, Dakota attaches a flashlight to her head like this, comes to the window and drops those polythene bags one by one into the water, so that she can understand if there is any shark nearby. After that, she will get into the water. As she keeps gathering this courage, Lisa calls from behind and says thank you in a tearful voice. Hearing this, Dakota gets emotional and starts crying. She looks at her dead mother's photo on the wall of the room. It's as if Dakota can see her mother's reflection in Lisa. So anyway, gathering a lot of courage, Dakota finally gets down into the water this time. Dakota is busy in the battle to reach the boat. Over there, the water current in Dakota's room is increasing, and the very bed Lisa has taken shelter on has started to float away in the water. The scene comes back to Dakota, so Dakota is almost reaching the boat. At such a time, a shark emerges terrifyingly right beside her. Over there, Lisa is rolling around alone in stomach pain. By the time the boat is brought, it is hard to say if Lisa will live or die. Meanwhile, Dakota was swimming towards the boat. Anyway, finally, Dakota somehow manages to climb onto the boat, barely escaping death, and collapses in exhaustion. Over there, if the scene comes to Dakota's Uncle Dale, we see he has already covered a lot of distance to come to Dakota and has roughly arrived nearby. But the problem is, because the whole city is submerged in water, Dakota's house location cannot be understood properly. And if the location is not understood, which way will they go? Then Dale guesses and starts coming in one direction. Meanwhile, the scene comes to those 3 siblings. Ron finally decides to go to the ground floor under the water and jumps into the water. So as Ron holds his breath, almost dying, and somehow returns to the top, a shark attacks him, but Ron narrowly escapes. If the scene comes to Lisa and Dakota's house, we see the foundation of Dakota's house has started to break under the water pressure. Over there, hearing a loud noise, Dakota looks towards her house from a distance and sees her house slowly going under the water. Meanwhile, Lisa, who is inside, starts screaming, "Dakota, Dakota." So Lisa becomes restless with the fear of death. But taking such mental stress while having a baby in the stomach, the baby will die. So Lisa plays a song on her mobile and starts trying to calm herself down. Over there, the scene comes back to those three siblings. Ron could not bring the rifle from the ground floor. However, he managed to bring some meat and explosives from the fridge. Now the plan is to wrap the meat with these explosives and offer those meats to the sharks as bait. And as soon as the sharks eat them, boom. But as easy as it is to say this, it is not at all that easy to do. But somehow it has to be done. So they start the mission. They tie the meat with the explosives, set it on fire, and throw it into the water. But what is this? The time for the explosion is approaching. But why isn't the shark coming to eat it? Then Will says, I had heard in a documentary that a shark only rushes to attack when it gets vibration in the water. Hearing this, they hurriedly get down into the water to create vibrations, and shouting loudly, they keep calling the shark. Right then the sharks start coming. Seeing this, just as they are about to flee, right then Ron's shirt gets stuck. He somehow manages to escape. The scene comes to Lisa. It's as if Lisa's life is leaving her due to labor pain. Even then, Lisa is increasing the pressure on her lower abdomen so that her baby comes out of her stomach as quickly as possible, because this building is going to collapse very soon. If the baby doesn't come out before that, the baby might die inside the water, so the baby is almost about to come out. Right then the building collapses, and the baby is born underwater. But exactly at that time, a shark starts approaching Lisa. When Dakota focuses and shoots an arrow at the shark coming towards Lisa, Lisa and Lisa's baby barely survive. After this, when Lisa somehow reaches the boat with her baby, Dakota first pulls Lisa's baby onto the boat. After that, while pulling Lisa up, a shark comes and overturns their boat. So now Dakota, Lisa, and Lisa's baby, all three are floundering in the water. And meanwhile, many sharks are roaming around all around, meaning this time it seems survival is no longer possible. At such a time, we see Dale in the distance. He is coming this way with his team. So upon arriving, Dale sees this condition of his niece. Many sharks are rushing towards Dakota from all sides. Then Dale throws an electric shocking device towards the sharks, and the sharks flee after getting shocked, making them breathe a sigh of relief. They think the danger is over. Just then, a huge shark rushes in from a distance. Seeing this scene, Dale is literally shocked. In his entire life, he had never seen such a scene. Over there, the scene comes to the three siblings, seeing they have successfully completed their task. So the three siblings start screaming in joy. And the scene comes to Dale. Dale hurriedly puts Lisa and Dakota on the speedboat. Then we see the whole city is submerged in water in this condition. Dakota is shivering with fear. Dale then hugs Dakota to his chest and tries to remove her fear. Meanwhile, Lisa is also looking at her baby and crying loudly. At such a time, Dale's assistant notices there is network on the mobile. Hearing this, Lisa asks for the boy's phone. She video calls her mother first. As soon as Lisa's mother sees Lisa, she starts crying. Lisa says, Mom, look here, you have become a grandmother. Saying this, when she shows the baby in her lap, the aunt becomes happy in an instant. And meanwhile, seeing these emotional moments of theirs, a cute smile blossoms on Dakota's face. The scene comes to those three siblings. Will, while rejoicing, suddenly notices a car key on the side table. The car, which is kept in the house's garage, Will takes the key. After this, we see they have come to the garage and Ron is sitting in the driving seat of the car, meaning Ron can drive. Rena says, Ron, where are we going now then? Ron says, to home. Dina says, we are orphans. This was our home. So which home are we going to? Ron says, I don't know that, where we will get shelter again. But now we want to go somewhere far from here, maybe to Florida City. Saying this, they start moving with the car. So finally being rescued from danger, these three siblings are looking very happy. If the scene comes to Dakota, Dale, and Lisa, we see they also have the same feelings. After so much battle for life and so much struggle, finally they are returning safely and securely. Thinking this, they are also very happy. So after this, we see the miserable condition of the whole city in a drone shot and see a TV news reporter saying, such a big storm has never happened in this city in the last 100 years. This sudden storm has razed this entire city of Annaville to the ground. However, it is good news that this storm has completely stopped, and the flood's dance of destruction is about to end. Just then, when the scene comes to the meteorological department, we see an early alert of a storm starting to ring there. What? Another storm? When the meteorological officer looks at the computer screen, he is literally in shock. The storm that is rushing in now is the father of the previous storm, and the movie ends right here. So friends, everyone put your hand on your chest and tell me, everyone's heartbeat has increased, hasn't it? To watch all such movies, subscribe to my channel and stay by my side. Take care.